אבא שלי היה משה.
Okay. So we started a new section today about Kaddish. The primary focus of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is on who has priority. I'll speak about that in a moment. Just before we start, we're now in section 26 of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We're in the section of prayer, and we're onto the last section of prayer, which is the Mourners Kaddish. So that's where we are. And as far as the Mourners Kaddish is concerned, so I think maybe today we'll just pick out a few halachas, and because a lot of the halachas are somewhat complicated. So the Shulchan Aruch begins about speaking about what a child can do when his parent passes away. It's not just Kaddish, there are other things that could be done as well. It starts with that, and it ends with that as well, that what's more powerful than the Kaddish. And then the bulk of the chapter in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch actually deals with who gets priority. Now, that would be if only one person was saying Kaddish. In some communities, the custom is that only one person could say Kaddish, and then it's a whole question of who gets that Kaddish. The general practice today is that all mourners can say Kaddish together, but this Kitzur Shulchan Aruch would still be relevant as far as who would have priority to lead the services, because we'll see in a moment that actually more powerful than Kaddish is being able to lead the davening. That has more of a help to the neshama. So let's first take a quick look at Kaddish. See, maybe we'll just read through the translations, at least you know what it's about, what's being said. And then I'll share a story or two about the meaning of Kaddish. And then we'll begin to work our way through some of the general points about Kaddish. And then as far as who gets precedence, since I said that's quite complex, so I'm going to see how to go about that in the days to come, but we're not going to do that today. Today I'd like to just give a general overview. So I think the first step is to actually look at the Kaddish so we know what this Kaddish is. Now the Mourners Kaddish is almost, or is identical, just a little shorter than a Kaddish that's said by the Chazan. So you can understand from this that Kaddish actually it's not a prayer that's made for mourners, not at all. Rather, as we'll discuss in a moment, through a mourner saying Kaddish, he is able to help the neshama that has gone into heaven. So Kaddish isn't for a mourner, but it helps the neshama of somebody that has gone up to Shamayim. So, let's see. Translation. So we're basically saying how great Hashem's name is. Exalted and Yiskadal v'Yiskadesh. May Yiskadal comes from the word Gadol, which means to be made great. Gadol means big. And Kadosh means holy or elevated. Shmei Rabbah, the holy name. So we say, may the holy name, may Hashem's name be made great and elevated. In other words, we're praising Hashem, not just praising Hashem, but we say that we are looking to cause Hashem to be more manifest in our world and in all the world. When we say Kaddish, we're saying that our neshama comes down into this world with a mission, and the general mission of all the Shabbos is to make this world a house for Hashem, and we do that by revealing Hashem in this world. With every mitzvah that we do, we reveal Hashem in this world. As is spoken a lot, this is spoken about a lot in the text of the Tanya. As opposed to when a person sins, so they cause the presence of Hashem to become more hidden. So Yiskadal v'Yiskadesh, we're saying, let the name of Hashem, let the great name of Hashem become great and elevated. In other words, we are looking to make Hashem's name more manifest. We're looking to make Hashem more revealed to the world. And then the Kaddish continues, throughout the world which he has created according to his will, may he establish his kingship, bring forth his redemption, and hasten the coming of Mashiach. That's actually only in some versions. Other versions, that's the Yatzmach Burkani V'Karim V'Shicha. That's Hasidim say this, as well as Sfardim, but Ashkenazim, or in Chabad also said, Ashkenazim would just don't have this little clause over here. Not sure why not, but everything is for a specific reason. So we're saying, let Hashem's name be made great, and let it be manifest throughout the world. In other words, let the whole world go according to Hashem's will. So we're trying to bring Hashem down and reveal him, or elevate him, meaning let us have a greater perspective of Hashem, and to also mold the whole world around us so that it can be modeled according to what Hashem wants. Hashem gives us the world. The world is like this raw clay, and he leaves it up to us to take this raw world that we have. La'avda l'shamra, Hashem said to Adam when he created the Garden of Eden, I've given it to you in order for you to work on the land and to garden, meaning Hashem gives us the raw material, and he makes it our job to form the world and to work with the world to make it in line with the will of Hashem. So that's the second clause. Ba'alma divrach hirusei v'yamlich malchusei. So ba'alma comes from the word olam, which means a world. Like, I don't know if you've heard of tikkun olam, which is originated in Kabbalistic sources, which speak about making the world more godly, rectifying the world, meaning Hashem created and gave us the world in order to make it better. So that word olam, so that's the next word in the Kaddish. Ba'alma, it's actually in Aramaic, so that's why there's an a at the end. Ba'alma divra, in the world which he created, chir usei, according to his will. The Yamlich Malchus said, may his kingship be established, meaning may we make this world one that accepts Hashem's sovereignty upon it. And may we bring forth his redemption and the coming of Mashiach. Why are we mentioning Mashiach? Because when Mashiach comes, then the whole world will run according to the will of Hashem. How do we hasten the coming of Mashiach? By making the world more of a place that is suitable for Hashem's presence. And when Mashiach comes, the whole world will be according to the will of Hashem. Okay, so this should be done in your lifetime and in your days and the lifetime of the entire house of Israel. Speedily and soon, and say Amen. Meaning we're actually saying to ourselves, while our souls are still in this world, we're going to dedicate our lives in order to do what we've just said, to elevate Hashem, meaning to realize the greatness of Hashem, and simultaneously to work with the world to make the whole world more godly and more of a house for Hashem. And then the congregation says, Yehei Shmei Rabba Bavarach L'Olam L'Ol Me'Almaya. There's tremendous power in saying this, or Yisparech, some say. So, Amen, may his great name be blessed forever and to all eternity. Now, what does the word blessed mean? Anybody? What does blessed mean? So in the context of a bracha, which means a blessing, blessed means to bring it down. Hashem is everywhere, but when we talk about his name being blessed, Baruch Atah Hashem, may you be blessed Hashem, we're saying we want to bring down Hashem's presence in a very revealed way in our lives. So may his great name be blessed, meaning may we cause Hashem's name, a name is what calls upon a person. When you call a person's name, then that brings the person there. So we can't really grab Hashem himself except through different ways. So we're saying, may we bring Hashem's name into this world. That's what blessed means. May we bring it, reveal it. May we reveal Hashem's name and draw Hashem's name into this world. And when saying this clause, it has tremendous power. I'm not sure if we'll mention it. I think we mentioned it already earlier when we spoke about the power of a minyan, that when a person with all his energy says, Yehei Shmei Rabba Bavarach L'Olam L'Ol Me'Almaya, or Yisparech, so he has the ability to rip apart a decree, a negative decree, just by saying those words. In other words, when we bring Hashem into the picture in such a powerful way, through these powerful words, we're able to completely transform our future for the better. So this is the general theme of the Kaddish. So we see from here that the Kaddish has no mention of mourners or of somebody that has passed away. But when a mourner says Kaddish, since it's a powerful prayer, which draws Hashem into this world and makes this world more of a house for Hashem, it has the ability to help the neshama that has passed away. And he starts it by saying, many stories are told in the Midrashim indicating that because the son says Kaddish for his father or mother, they were saved from heavenly judgment. So there's one particular story. It's quite a spooky story, but the story was of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was once in the cemetery, and he saw this man with a heavy load on his shoulder, a heavy load of wood on his back. And he saw that he was really struggling, and he tried talking to him, and he said, "No, leave me alone. My master is going to get me into trouble if I don't come fast enough." Look, if you wanted to have a proper understanding of the story, I can't give it to you, but I'm sharing with you the story. And he says, "What's this about?" He says, "No, I bring wood during the day, and at night I burn in the fire of this wood." He said, "No, what did you do that you're during your lifetime?" So it was the cemetery, and he was basically speaking to a person that had passed away, and that's why I can't explain to you why it makes it sound like he actually saw a person actually walking in the cemetery. But obviously when a person passes away, the soul goes up and the body is laid to rest. So I can't explain that. I'm sure there are explanations. But Rabbi Akiva turned to this individual and he said to him, what did you do what did you do in your lifetime that you're getting such a harsh punishment? So he said, I was a tax merchant, meaning I would collect taxes from people. And I specifically befriended the wealthy, and I didn't care about the poor. In general, through the ages, often tax collectors were from the more cruel of people, because sometimes it worked by percentage and by commission. It wasn't just like an accountant that's just helping people pay the standard tax that everybody pays, but often tax collectors gave people real tsaras. And he says, I was a tax collector, and I used to specifically care for the wealthy because I got more taxes out of them. So he said, okay, so how do I help you with the situation? How do I get you out of this? He says to this man. So the man says, nah, forget about it. You're never going to be able to help me. He said, why not? Surely there's a solution. He said, yeah, there's one solution, but you can't help me. He said, what's the solution? So he said, they said that if my son would say Kaddish, then that would alleviate me from all of this pain and suffering, from all of these punishments. But my child, I think my wife was expecting when I passed away, and I have no clue what happened to the child, and you're never going to find the child. The child didn't even have a bris, so forget about it. So Rabbi Akiva was obviously really disturbed by this whole story, and there on the spot, he made a decision that he is going to find this kid and teach this kid how to say Kaddish. The guy said that he doesn't even know how. I'm not sure if he told him that wouldn't know how to. He wouldn't know how to read or any of the sort. And he told him which city he was from. So Akiva rushed off to that city, and he asked the people of the city, does anybody know such and such a fellow? And the moment he said that, the people said, oh, may his bones be crushed, meaning they hated the guy so much. They said, basically, may he suffer an awful punishment in hell. which actually Akiva had seen was actually what was happening to him. It just goes to show how one should think twice before one says things. He said, what about his wife? Ne, may her name be erased. Was there a child? Yeah, there was a child, but he was never even circumcised. And, you know, after such parents, nobody had wanted to have anything to do with such a child. So we can understand that this person that he met was he had really, he had given people a rough time. Anyhow, Rabbi Akiva went and he searched for the child, and he sat the child down on his lap. Oh, he gave him a circumcision, he gave him a bris, and he sat him down on his lap, and he tried to teach the child, and nothing went to him. The child, he was just completely numb. It wasn't going in. As much as Rabbi Akiva tried to teach him, nothing was going in. So Rabbi Akiva didn't give up. He took upon himself a fast. Not one fast, but he fasted for 40 days. 40 days, one day after the other. Obviously, he ate at night. He fasted for 40 days until he was asked in heaven. So obviously, Rabbi Akiva had somehow the ability to talk with Hashem in some way, or the angels. And they turned to him and they said to him, why are you fasting like this? What's going on? Like, there's a concept of where a person sinned and they're trying to completely erase the stains of what they did. But Rabbi Akiva, why are you fasting like this? Rabbi Akiva said, you know, I took it upon myself to teach the child, and it's a Kaddish, it's not going in. So at that moment, they opened up the child's heart, and he began to be able to learn. He was able to learn. Rabbi Akiva sat with him, and he taught him how to read, and he taught him how to say Kaddish. And the child went and he said Kaddish. And when he said Kaddish, his father's neshama was finally freed from the hardships that he was suffering and was able to go into heaven. So this is one story which indicates the power of Kaddish, that even a man that had really done such injustice and was suffering so terribly, through his son saying Kaddish, and specifically his son saying Kaddish, he was alleviated from his hardships and he was able to go up to heaven. So I guess today was an intro, and please God, tomorrow we'll look at the halachas inside. Thank you for joining me, and wishing you a wonderful